Hi, I'm Kim. I'm multiply neurodivergent. I am self-identifying autistic. I am a diagnosed BPD. And in terms of my relationship status, I'm polyamorous. Now, for those of you that don't know, polyamorous is the ability to have multiple relationships, multiple loving connections. It is wonderful for me. I couldn't really be monogamous. I was monogamous for an entire 7 months. And while that is a relationship I hold dear in my heart, it's not my style whatsoever. I have stories written from when I was a teenager where my characters were in multiple relationships, even though I didn't know the term polyamorous back then. But what's that got to do with neurodivergence? Well, I just want to talk to you about how my BPD and my autism to an extent can interact with my polyamory. So, as a polyam person, so many people think I can't actually be polyamorous because I have borderline personality disorder. And honestly, they're wrong. I know multiple people with borderline personality disorder that are polyamorous and are in happy relationships. You think because I'm more emotional, I am likely to get more jealous and possessive. And that's not necessarily true. So many people struggle with jealousy regardless of whether they are neurotypical or neurodiverse. And regardless of whether you're polyamorous or monogamous, personally, I don't struggle with jealousy, but nobody is immune to it. I don't struggle with it. I do have moments of it. But like all relationships, polyamory takes work. And the first piece of work always starts with you. It always starts with figuring out your emotional boundaries, figuring out your consent boundaries, and what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, what you expect out of a partner. I'm so lucky to actually be involved with amazing Polyamory Ireland community because they are a wealth of support and the amount of knowledge they have, and they're always good for a book recommendation. We help each other become better versions of ourselves. We help each other work through that jealousy. We help each other work through that insecurity. All those things that you should be doing in any relationship, whether that be a friendship, a monogamous relationship, or a polyamorous relationship. And I get to do all of that. And with my autism, I get very intensely involved in certain topics every so often. And in particular, at one stage, I got really intensely involved in researching polyamory. I read so many books, I read so many blogs, I listened to so many podcasts. I have my copy of Polysecure underlined about 100 times now at this point. And that's how I digest. That was my way of taking in that information. It was me hyper focusing on wanting to be a better partner to me, to my friends, and to my multiple partners. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful that my hyper focusedness allowed me to do all that research? And the community I had gave me the resources to do that. And yes, I meet the stigma of being told that I'm too emotional to be in any relationship, but definitely not a polyamorous relationship. Nonsense. I have so much love to give. Yes, I feel things intensely. Yes, I do feel heartache intensely and sadness intensely. But you know what else I feel intensely? Love and happiness. And I would give so much of myself to my partners. I love buying people gifts or making them gifts. I love learning about my partners, and I love expressing my affection to them. Yes, being autistic and being borderline, having borderline personality disorder means sometimes it's hard to make emotional connections. Sometimes it's hard to reach out and make friends, and online dating is awful for everyone, but especially if you don't know how to pick up on social cues, it's a little bit more agonizing. And when your PTSD triggers means kissing somebody on the first date can turn into you having a meltdown, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to go through. I know that. But I also know that the love I have in my community is beyond anything I could ever wish for. All the people I've ever hugged, kissed, dated, all the crushes I have, the people I have been in relationships with, the people that are too close in my life to call them friends, but partner doesn't feel right either, so they're my beloveds. All this beauty comes from my polyamory. My relationship anarchy means I don't have to put labels on it all. My BPD means I can feel it so intensely. And my autism means I can hyper focus and educate myself and do better for my partners, my friends, and myself. Now, that's just a tiny little glimpse into my experience of being neurodivergent and polyamorous, and there are so many of us out there. Trust me, you'd be surprised. But I hope you realize that you can be polyamorous and neurodivergent. Thank you. Goodbye.